Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Socially Desi Show, the podcast that motivates you to live, create, and inspire. If this is your first time here, welcome. On our show, we discuss tips and strategies with our guest speakers on how to tackle problems related to personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. So hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com for more of such content. Today, I am joined by Mr. Krishna Mohan Tata. He is an author and the founder of Gitanjali Awards. Hello, Mr. Krishna. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Anurag. Good afternoon. Good evening. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Krishna. Thank you so much for doing this with the Socially Desi Show. And before we begin today's episode, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
As I said, my name is Krishna Mohan Tata, and I'm the co-founder and director of an organization called Gitanjali Awards, where we manufacture, retail, a wide range of awards, trophies, mementos, and other recognition products. And this was an organization which started 15 years ago. And about me, I'm a person who was born in this beautiful city called Bhubaneswar way back in 1967. I grew up here. I went to a school called Stuart School, and I grew up in an era when there was no internet, when there was no television, and the only form of entertainment were your friends, your neighbors, and that was an era when I grew up, and a fascinating time. And that's when I conjured up a lot of ideas and used a lot of imagination. And some 5 years ago, I started using that imagination to write a book. And recently, sometime this year, in a couple of months ago, I released my first book called A Jar of Pebbles. And as far as, you asked me, tell me a little bit about yourself. So, I believe, that is one of the toughest questions to answer for me,
True.
When you ask, tell me something about yourself, you are totally sometimes, what do I tell about myself? All I can say is I'm a person who's always curious, who's always trying to look what's happening and ear to the ground, and, always trying to find out more about the ordinary, unsung heroes. I've always been fascinated by these kind of people. And, these are the things which, my father was a professor and HOD in biochemistry in Odisha Veterinary College. So, he came to Bhubaneswar way back in 1959, and he was one among 7 siblings. And they grew up in absolute poverty, in the sense that he didn't have chappals to wear till he completed his BVSC. And that was the way he completed his BSc, BVSc, MVSc, and he did his PhD from the US also. And then he came back and joined as a professor and HOD biochemistry. So a great inspiration from a person like my father, great inspiration from a person like my mother, who came from a small town called Srikakulam. And she was the first graduate from that town in English. And,
Wow.
And you look up to them always. And as far as I'm concerned, I have 2 siblings, my brother who's in the corporate sector, a sister who's a journalist, who's an editor of a newspaper. And I have a lovely daughter who's just about entered her teens. She started banging doors. She started questioning why. And here I am battling the pandemic and trying to write something, and always curious and caught up in strange little corona pandemic times, and sitting in front of you and talking to you right now.
Wonderful. I mean, that's certainly a great journey so far, Mr. Krishna. And like they say, right, you don't need you don't need to go outside and find inspiration. You can be at home, look at your parents, look at your siblings, and you can find lots of inspiration in your home itself. And the way you spoke about your family, I can truly relate how inspirational and motivating the environment would have been, because your family has seen the ups and downs, and they have fought through times in order to make ends meet. And that is really important, for anyone. I think, as an entrepreneur also, or as an author, it's really important to find that inspiration, find that motivation in and around you. And that's lovely to hear about your journey. So, Mr. Krishna, so this was, about your journey, but how did it all start? Like, how did Gitanjali Awards really started? What came to your mind and you thought that, this is something that I really want to get into?
Yeah. So you see, like sometime long time ago, I was after I completed my graduation, I started working in many organizations. So like I was into sales and marketing, and I set up the offices of many organizations in Bhubaneswar, and looked after the sales and marketing. At some point of time, like while working for a company which used to sell space in Yellow Pages, I met this fantastic friend of mine called BP Mahapatro. And we hit it off. And we decided, we both wanted to do something on our own. We really didn't have any idea about what to do, but we wanted to do something on our own. So this was, and then we felt that why not be on our own? So we quit our jobs and started an organization. And, like
Okay.
the first step we took was we
Hmm.
started wholesaling of plastic houseware, like these
Okay.
buckets,
Hmm.
these mugs, which was a
Yeah.
textbook definition of failure. It failed. So
Okay.
that venture never took off, like it wasn't a cup of tea. And that was when, like we found this material called acrylic, and, like we realized that we can cut it, we can shape it, and we can create some kind of plaques, some kind of gifts, some kind of giveaways with it. And initially, it was just me and him, and me and BP, and he used to do the designing part, and I used to do the sales part. So, like, we used to cut that material, print on it like my dad, my mom, I love you,
Okay.
my wife, happy anniversary, and we used to give it in gift counters and other, like counter selling gifts. But
Yep. Yep.
like, and slowly we discovered, like there's a market out there for awards and recognition, where there are trophies sold, where there are mementos sold. And like, we did an in-depth research, and we found out that the mementos and trophies manufactured in India and India were almost similar. The advent of technology may have improved the quality in the industry, but the end consumer still had a very limited choice. Like the products
Right.
were all like old wine in a new bottle. So like the winner of a
True.
dance
Yeah.
competition and the top performer in a IT industry, or a winner of a hockey competition or a dog show, ended up
Yep.
getting the same trophy. That was when we, pulled together a design team, and we said, "Nay, we are going to create many designs." Most of the trophies in the
Hmm.
country, even today, are sold across sports counters. Even today,
Right. Right.
90% of the trophies, it's a very niche industry, and like that's the way they're sold. So like we decided to do something where our designs will speak. Like, what is a trophy for? When somebody holds a trophy, it makes him feel really, really, really good. Or a memento, or an
Correct.
award. Like, let us say
Yep.
you win an award for you have achieved something in your office, and they give you a trophy or an award, and it makes you feel good. Or let us say, like, somebody is taking part in a conference, and he gets a memento, and it has to feel good. It shouldn't be something which
True.
he'll just
True.
leave it there and go away. And that was where we created many designs, and slowly we decided to, like, Gitanjali Awards was born with the concept of creating awards, trophies, and design mementos which spoke to the end consumer, which had an emotional core, which had a value attached to it, and people would retain it. I still believe that when somebody is given a piece like this, the value is either 100% or zero. If somebody retains it, it's 100%, because it has to touch you, it has to move you. It is being
Right.
something being given by somebody else, and if it touches you, if it moves you, the job is done. It acts as a tribute, it acts as a motivator. And so, like, like we started we decided, then we invested in technologies,
Hmm.
like laser cutting, CNC cutting, flatbed printing, and we invested in good manpower like designers. And these people are all homegrown, I would say a Lagan team.
Okay.
Most of them have been with us for ages, but
Okay.
they do wonders. Like, our team is, we have got a fantastic team who do a lot of things, a lot of stuff for us, and they have been creating those magnificent designs. And like even my partner BP, he's a guy who creates a lot of designs, and so like
Mm-hmm.
with the technologies and with the designs, and then we started going to clients and saying, hey, you have been buying these kind of products all these years, so why not you have a look at us? We were a very small player. Some 15 years ago we started out, and
Right.
then nobody knew us, even though like it's a very unorganized sector. So people were very uncomfortable buying a trophy from an organized player. You see, like
Okay.
it's a very funny thing, but like when somebody came
Hmm.
up to them with a brochure, a catalog, and said, hey, what is your event? You have got a 15-year service, a 15-year service award, or you got a 5-year service award, you have got a topper, or is a sports event, or is a cool function, or a college function. So we have a trophy or a memento or an award for each and every event, or each and like, which will not only make the person, the recipient, happy. And slowly, like, we carved a niche for ourselves. We have a head office in Bhubaneswar, and we also like ship across the country through our website. And today we have serviced more than, like, like I would say, like, at any point of time, we have we have serviced more than 1,000 clients, like, across
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
country. And we have shipped outside also, like, like the journey of Gitanjali Awards, I would say, has been because of our passion to make people, like, people like being appreciated, especially when they work towards a goal. And when the token of appreciation is beautiful, it becomes an object d'art. This was precisely the thought that inspired Gitanjali Awards to venture into the awards and recognition industry. And we believe that recognition is a basic human need, and recognition is always treasured. And the best way to recognize performers is to present them with memorabilia which complements their outstanding efforts. And that's how, like, and that is the way
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
today when we look at designs, even today, like, like, the pandemic is slightly lifting and people are calling us back. So like, we always feel that the piece has to have an emotional core. And with the, like, we added technologies, we found people who were looking for us with the website, we found, and we started talking to institutes, we started making calls. Of course, I'm telling it to you all this in 3-4 minutes, but it hasn't been like that.
Right,
it
right.
has it has
No,
been
no.
a,
I think I
uh,
completely, I can completely relate with when you said that the piece of memorabilia, or that memento that you are given, right? That piece can either be like 100% for you or has zero value for you. So
right,
I
right,
completely agree with that. And at the end of the day, like you said, you need to have an emotional connect with that particular
absolutely
award that you're being given, because it is not just that, okay, you are the winner, or you have stood first, or congratulations on 10 years of service, blah blah blah. All these
correct.
things, they sound good, but at the end of the day, there has to be some emotional connect also. And I think these kind of awards and trophies, or mementos, are something that can really stay attached with you for a long period of time. Like, for example, like, you won't believe, I still have let me just look at this. Yes, I still have this Britannia Kids Award, okay,
Wow.
which I won back in 2007.
Wow.
Okay.
That was
And
pretty
so
recent.
so 2007, I won this award. I was in class 2007 was class 12. I was in class 12, and there was this
Okay.
competition was
Hello.
happening. I was
Mm.
in Siliguri, West Bengal,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they had this competition, and I won that competition. I still have it on my I have a shelf, and I have
Mhm.
few of my trophies and things that I want to remember, right?
Right.
So I still have that. So these
Mm.
these kind of things, they take you back. Like, you can have
Right.
thousands and thousands of pictures on your mobile phone, and you will never look at them. But
Yeah.
something like this, which is on your table since 2007, and I still remember that day, and whenever I look at the trophy,
Yeah.
it takes me back to the day when I was called on the stage, the Britannia representative. He gave me that. So I can it takes me to that flashback, and that is what the emotional connect is, and everybody needs to have that kind of an emotional connect. Otherwise, there's no point in giving awards.
Absolutely, yeah, completely. And I can understand, how much you value that, what is, like I'll also, how important is this? I'll tell you, like you're talking about this Britannia award, I'll tell you a story of when I got my first medal. It was sometime
Hmm. Hmm.
in college, when I was in college. I'm a dinosaur. That was a long time ago. But, I still remember, they calling out. There was an essay competition, and it was about what does science mean. So, like, how important is science? And I had written a piece, and there were about 20 kids who had written a piece, and I was called out onto the stage. And as I ran up to the stage, there were kids clapping, and there was a breeze coming onto my. I felt as if I had won the Wimbledon championship or something like that. So, like when I came back in the evening, I show, like I was never great at academics, So, like, this was one of the very few medals which I had won. So it was evening. It was, like sometime we were staying in a place where there was open space, and so like my dad was standing out there in the open, and I walked up to him, and with a little, I was slightly timid, and I tapped him and said, "Hey, Dad, this is what I got today." And he looks at me, and he just patted me on my back. And that pat on the back, Anurag, I'll tell you, I still remember it even today. It felt so good. It feels so good even today. He stays somewhere up in the sky today, my dad and mom, both of them. But that pat on the back is something which will always, always remain with me, because for me, that is bigger. He appreciated, like I said, recognition, appreciation. These are
Yeah.
things sometimes which are intangible, which are so beautiful. And
True. True.
there we were standing under the open sky, stars, and it was slightly dark. And he patted me on the back, and that memory of that evening is still very, very, very clear in my mind. So this just brought back the memory of you winning the Britannia Award in 2007 in class 12. So, what I'm trying to say is that for every person, I tell my team, we are making these trophies, clean it up, make sure that there are no spelling mistakes. Even if the other people have given and there is a spelling error which
Right.
has crept in, make sure that, because this is something which is going to be valued by a person who's going to receive it.
True. True.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the whole. I think that is the whole. The universe of the awards and recognition, where you
yeah.
need to have the suns and the stars together, and it should look magical for somebody who is receiving that award.
Yeah.
And that is where I think right from the curation to the like from the ideation to the curation to the delivery, I think
Mhm,
everything else, the whole chain really matters a lot.
mhm.
And I mean, amazing to see Gitanjali Awards journey, a long and lustrous journey. That's wonderful to know. And of course, guys, if you're listening to us, go check out Gitanjali Awards. We'll put the links in the show notes below. So if you and your organization, if you're looking at, your rewards and recognition programs, you can get in touch with Mr. Krishna, and he can guide you in how you can do it better. And of course, we'll talk more about rewards and recognition throughout the episode's length. But Mr. Krishna, before that, now you are an author as well. So,
Yes.
what made you take this leap of faith of an entrepreneur and now an author as well, and also talk about the book?
Yeah. So, as I told you, I grew up in a small town in an era where there was no internet, no television. The only, like, you would hang out with your friends, or like somebody got
Yeah.
into a fair fight, and that would be the episode for the evening. Imagination, like, I've always been a dreamer. I would say, sometime I've always felt this urge to express myself, in a way, to write something what I have felt like. I've been a dreamer always. I've been thinking of this. I would imagine this situation, keeping that person in mind. And I've always had this urge to put my thoughts onto paper and make something meaningful out of it. And so I decided to write. So when I decided to write, I kept on writing. I started writing some 5 to 7 years ago, and
Okay.
I would write a small piece, and then I would post it on a blog, or I would post it somewhere, and then I would ask my friends. So there were these classmates said, "Hey KMT, you're writing good. Well, why don't you do it better?" So I thought, why not, let me sit down, and if I can really, really, tell a story, and if people are liking it, and if I'm able to connect, so why don't I do it? Like, I think I find beauty in the most peculiar of places. I believe
Okay.
that life is the greatest art there is. My heroes are the common people, unsung people, and these thoughts, coupled, catalyzed me to write. And that is how the journey of this first book began. And that is how, I started, I have, like I say, there's something magical about the ordinary. On the face of it, the ordinary
Hmm.
is colorless, odorless, shapeless. But when you scratch the surface of the ordinary, its earthy fragrance and colors will engulf you with joy and happiness. Anurag, it may sound like a cliche, but happiness surely lies in simple things. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
5 years
True.
ago, I started writing about my memories, my experiences, and a jar of pebbles happened. The name of the book is A Jar of Pebbles. A Jar of Pebbles is a collection of my writings portraying the positive spirit in those crazy, funny situations that happen in life. So, like this
Yeah.
book is about finding happiness in the ordinary, and it's about, memories of growing up in a small town. As I told you, when there was no social media, simple snippets of human effort and kindness, anecdotes surely speak to a generation which didn't have the internet, and to a
Right.
generation which can't do without the book.
Hmm.
So, and so with this passion to write, I started writing. And what do I write? And I felt like first I should start writing about these unsung heroes and these beautiful moments which exist in every phase of life. There is beauty, as I told you, in the most peculiar of places where we seldom find it. It's only that, we often
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, have you ever felt lost in a five-star hotel while having that fancy banquet?
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and you have craved to have that dal roti.
Hmm.
You just want to run away from that exotic holiday to a simple place. You just want to give up that five-star AC face, and you want to sit up in a khulla jaga, asman ke niche, and you want to breathe that fresh air, have a simple conversation with a friend or a loved one. And you know that is what happiness about. And I wanted to tell this through my stories, through the people I have met, through my experiences. And that is how I started writing. And it gives me great joy when I write a piece, and I conclude it. And these are small pieces. My first book, A Jar of Pebbles, is a collection of 36 stories. I call it stories from the heart. And
Wonderful.
this is how it began. And I will continue to write. Of course, I'm still writing, and there are other things, big plans in mind. But I'm sure that I'll be able to take out some time and do it, because now that, as they say, that you have tasted blood, so the only way is to go forward.
True
So
that, true
that's,
that. I think
yeah.
the only way to move is ahead.
Mm,
And, the book really sounds very intriguing. And,
mm.
guys, if you're listening to us, go check out A Jar of Pebbles. It's available on Amazon. Yes, it is.
It's available on Amazon, on Flipkart, and it's been doing reasonably. The response has been overwhelming for a first time author. And there have been people calling me from all corners of the world, telling them how they could connect with each story. And the best part is, there have been teenagers who have been telling me that they have loved it. And a couple of days ago, there was an 80-year-old lady who called me up and talked to me for 10 full minutes about the book. A lady who really loved the
Wow,
book.
that's amazing.
That's amazing. Can you imagine, like at 80, like most of us can't talk. I don't know, like I've seen a lot of people who, but she read the book and she felt that it connected. And, like naturally, I'm on a high when they say that, your book connects. And yes, like, if my book is making people happy, it is, tugging their hearts and maybe wipe a tear. So I think, like that is something which every author aspires, to that
Absolutely.
create that connect, whether be it in Gitanjali Awards or whether be it with a jar of pebbles, or whether be it in your field, all of us are looking to create that connect. And that connect is something which happens not always, but when it happens, it is magical.
Absolutely, absolutely. That
Yeah,
resonates with me 100% because
mm,
as creative people, right, we
right,
always want that connect to happen. And it
right.
can happen through our words, it can happen through our voice, you know.
Yeah,
So, any medium wherein we can connect with our audience, we can connect with a fellow human being. I think that is where the satisfaction for us lies as creatives. So,
absolutely.
completely agree with that. Now,
Yeah,
Mr. Krishna, coming back to one of the main discussion points of the episode, where we want to touch base on the importance of rewards and recognition,
yeah,
especially like in the recent times when the pandemic has really shook
yeah,
the
mm,
humanity, right, across the
right,
world.
right.
How has rewards and recognition really changed in organizations in the recent times?
Yeah. So the pandemic, like of course, like the when it happened last year,
Hmm.
everything came to a standstill. You know,
Yeah.
nothing moved, and we were also in that same boat. Like nothing actually happened, and um, people were scared, people were worried, and rewards and recognition was the last thing on their mind. So after after that happened, so like we realized that we also started dabbling in other things, but then realized that recognition is something which slowly now in this second phase of pandemic, like which organizations in this digital era, like they were like people are sitting at home and working from home, and but then uh, there have been organizations, there have been government organizations, there have been schools, and there have been colleges which have been calling us and asking us like, hey, can you deliver it to our people
Mm.
out there? And we said
Okay.
yes, because we have an online website, it's called
Right.
gitanjaliawards.com, and you can place an order there. Otherwise, we have a fantastic team who's ready to talk to the client, understand, and we are shipping it to that person. Anurag, more than any time else, this is the time when recognition is really, really very important, because all of us, everyone, each one of us has been affected by the pandemic in our own little way. Some of us are scared,
Yep.
some of us are apprehensive, some of us don't know what to do, some of us don't know how to react. There have been businesses which have shut down, there have been jobs which have been lost. And this is a time when we need that pat on the back. This is the time when like we need somebody to talk to. This is the time we need somebody to connect to. And this is what a lot of organizations and like the HR people who have been telling us, hey, our people are working from our office, from homes, and like, can you deliver something to them? Like of course, like the quantities and all weren't as before, but slowly, after the initial setback, now we are seeing a change in the whole thing, whole system, when people are now comfortable. Initially, what used to happen, this is a product which people never really bought online. Like we
Yeah.
do have a website, like see, like you would easily go and buy a shirt, you would easily go and buy, like let us say something, some grocery stuff. But like for a trophy which is personalized, which has a little star on the top, a name on the bottom, and some kind of thing as a packing and everything, so like people were never really comfortable. But we have like trying to change that and making the end client very comfortable with buying a product, because what we have understood, like even like we have been working with various government organizations, the municipality corporation, like they wanted to honor their workers, and they said like, hey, what can you give them? Like something which they will. So we have now added so many items like, handcrafted jute bags, some like, so many other products also,
Yeah.
which have the essence of a gift, but which can be a memento, which can be a keepsake, and we are personalizing it with a little bit of their, like the organization's logo, something, and we are sending it across. But yes, there has been an impact, and we are working on it, and we have also developed a series of fascinating modular gift items which we are about to launch. The pandemic, we did a lot of research and development. As I said, DP, my partner, like, that guy has been tinkering around with a lot of
Hmm.
designs, and very
Okay.
soon you'll be seeing some fascinating designs which will appeal to everybody. This is something which is an area which we are getting into, but
Okay.
like, this is going to be general gifting, but it is going to be hatke. Like, I'm boldly saying
Okay.
hatke
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
like, this is, a gut says like, this is like going back 15 years ago when we started off in that small little room, and with nobody, with one little mission, just the two of us. Like, this is again like we are coming up with some beautiful products which will be, launching pretty soon. Like in the next couple of months, you'll be seeing a series of new designs. Uh, but but also but also coming back to our main basket, which is awards, trophies, and mementos. We feel he nothing, today, when our Indian won the silver medal,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you can see India is going crazy, right? Why?
True.
Because
Yes.
that is, nothing can ever replace a trophy in your hand. Nothing can ever replace a medal. Nothing can ever replace a memento. Yes, there have been like people who have been trying to send certificates, but end of the day, a piece in your hand, it gives you that kind of a wow factor. It takes you somewhere else, which nothing else can do. And a lot of people have been telling me that a lot of organizations, a lot of government organizations, a lot of schools, people who organize now, like, what happened is event managers have now the whole system. After Zoom came in, people are now having
Yeah.
conferences online. So when they're having
Yes.
conferences online, so we are shipping more. Like, we have never shipped this many products in our whole life before to other places in the country. Like, this has been
Okay.
happening.
Hmm.
And this is something fascinating, and we are improving our website. We are making it more user friendly. We are launching a new website, and we are trying to bring more and more options and choices to people, so that it will be easier for them to make a purchase online. Not only technologically sound website, because this is the digital era. Everybody, like, like some of the big e-commerce sites have taken the level to next level, so people are expecting, expectation levels are really high. And that is the reason we are working on a website, on a digital platform, where a person can come and make something very smoothly. Like, what does he want? We can take the
Hmm.
content online, we can take everything online, and then we'll have a team member talking to them, and
Right.
or either on chat or something like this. Yes, it is evolving. Yes, our sales have come down. Yes, but we are learning, and this learning has led to development. And it is leading to more and
Yeah.
more development. And we are also learning, and we are also evolving, coming up with new products and new hand. We have adding a series of handcrafted items. We are adding a series of products which will be utility products for them, and so many things. We are slowly evolving. The basic essence of Gitanjali Awards remains the same, but we're adding more and more SKUs, stock keeping units, more products, and trying to reach out a larger base of people, because we have understood that nobody is ready to give up on awards and recognition. Yes, they've taken a back
Right.
seat, but nobody is
Hmm.
saying, no, we will not do this. We are going to stop this. No, nobody is saying that. It is going to happen. It is happening. And there are certain sports events which have started opening up in certain states.
Right.
And there are
Yeah.
people who have been asking for medals, for sports trophies. And we are slowly, going and giving that. But yes, it is not as before. But yes, it is now again, we are slowly limping back and looking at ways, because I believe that, like, this is the pandemic has been a great, learning lesson for all of us in our own very own fields, and it has
True,
been teaching
true.
us so many things. I'm sure you also learned your lessons. In the same way, we have also
Absolutely.
learned our lessons, and we are also trying to make that little difference where we can serve our clients in a better manner so that they'll keep coming back to us, so that
True.
like end of the day the whole process is relevant. Somebody, like if somebody asked me bluntly the other day, is your product relevant anymore in
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
era post pandemic? I said yes, it is relevant. It will be relevant always. The shape of recognition may change. That is the reason. Like like
Yep.
somebody might
Yep.
say, like, hey, we are going to give a table to our people, who are working from home. We might give a chair.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we are tying up with organizations like this also, because we have been talking to companies and telling them, hey, like we have been in awards and recognition, and we feel that people need to be recognized in a different manner at times. So we have personalized
Yes.
many tabletops and tables and given it to people. So like we are also evolving, we are also learning, like what makes an employee who's working from home happy, what makes a kid.
True.
My daughter
True.
is in class 10. For the past 2 years she hasn't gone to school, and she's in a mood to kill always. She says she says that learning from a computer, there are many kids who have
Yeah.
adapted to the learning from a computer, but there are many kids who haven't. you know
True. True.
so all this, with this changes, so a school called us and said, like, hey, like there are some toppers, but they are very moody, they were cranky.
Yeah.
So we did
Hmm.
some lively pieces with lively colorful mementos and send it across to the kids. you know and so yes, the whole process, the whole color may change, it may evolve to something else, but we are
Yeah.
here, we are learning, we are listening to people. We have our ears open, we have our eyes open, and there is not a single day when I'm not learning something from this, like how to change or how to bring about that little touch of happiness to the
Right.
person who's not feeling well currently. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think
Mm,
a couple
mm,
of points there which you have made are really,
mm,
hard hitting when it comes to
mm.
understanding the kind of rewards and recognitions and their importance. Because, like you said, the shape of the rewards may change. And, one of the examples that I would like to give here is, my brother who works in an organization now, because everybody is working from home. So, what they do is, like, whenever there's a new project which gets completed, or if there's some milestone that they achieve, so generally what they do is that, of course, they can't be all together. So what they do is, they'll tell you that the lunch is on us, right? So they'll tell you that
Yeah,
your entire family's lunch or dinner is on us. You just send us the bill, go
yeah.
and eat, or order from somewhere. So I think
Mm.
that's, again, it's a recognition, right? It's a reward, it's a
Absolutely,
recognition that
absolutely,
has been
absolutely.
given. The shape
Yeah,
has changed,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and that's how, and I completely agree. Like you said, people are giving tables, a lot of
Mm.
people are giving gadgets to their employees. I
Absolutely,
remember
absolutely.
one of my friends company, they were giving these Google devices to their employees as a gift. So I
Right.
think, yes, the shape of rewards and recognition will definitely change post the
Yeah,
pandemic, but the importance will definitely grow, because like
absolutely,
you said, it's high time that we start recognizing people, we start rewarding people for the kind of job that they're doing, and which is not easy at this time. Because
absolutely.
we saw what happened in the second wave.
Yeah,
The entire country was shut down, and people had huge losses, right
absolutely,
from their
absolutely.
family members to businesses. But still, people thanked a lot of their employees, their family members, who kept going. Even though the times were hard, they kept going, they kept working, they made sure that there are no setbacks. So I think these are really good points that you made, Mr. Krishna, and I think our audience today would have gained a lot many good insights and key takeaways from our discussion today. And guys, again, we'll put the links in the show notes below of Mr. Krishna's book as well as Gitanjali Awards. So please go check them out. And if you need any more help, please reach out to Mr. Krishna. He'll be happy to help you. If you need our help, reach out to Social Socially Desi will help you to get in touch with Mr. Krishna. And with that, Mr. Krishna, thank you so much for being on the show today. You have been an absolute pleasure to speak with.
Thank you, Anurag. It was a pleasure. Like it took me back to you. You asked the right questions, and like I went back way back in time, and it was really, really a great experience, and loved talking to you, and it was fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
So that wraps it up for today, folks. If you liked the episode, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's go viral. Remember, our weekly podcast features episodes on personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. We would love to have Mr. Tata on our show again in the future to talk more about his upcoming books and the world of reward and recognitions and how gifts can actually make a difference. So if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com. And as always, before I sign off, remember, life is black and white and everything in between.